Jenn T, flow massage therapy. You know what? I'm a people watcher. I can't help it. And so when I see something that's like weird and just like, this doesn't make sense, I have to address it. So I saw a river captain managing a raft down the rapids of the Colorado River. And from his ankle to his knee on the right side, he had a brace that was like this. And I was like, what is that for? Nobody should have that much pressure on a leg. How can you move? So I went up to him and I said, hey, just wondering what's going on there. So he tells me, I had a lot of accidents there. I used to do motocross, and so I've had several surgeries there. So I put this brace on because it gives me more stability. I said, well, how long ago did you have these accidents? He goes, 10, 15 years ago. I'm like, really? And what have you done since then? He goes, I went through rehab, but it didn't really do much for me. I said, okay. And he goes, I went through structural integration, and nothing against structural integration people. You know, people see what they see at the moment that they see it. But sometimes, instead of just seeing it, like this pen, that's the pen, I need to look at the big picture to see what relationship this pen has to the table and to the pad that I'm going to use, okay? So I said, all right, if you want, I will check it out for you and see what it feels like, because 10, 15 years out, you shouldn't really need a brace so restrictive like that. It doesn't allow your body to heal. And by the way, his right foot was inflamed, absolutely inflamed. And when I looked at him, he was kind of crooked like this, which meant that he was like Captain Bligh. He was using and overusing the left side of his body to compensate for his right. So he was overworked on one side, and the right side was like, oh my God, we're going to move to the dark side, to the left side, because everything was pulling left, because that's what he needed. So when I got him on my table, the table was actually a big, huge trunk on top of the boat. I said, lie down, and I started to move him around, and I realized that he had cut off circulation in his body, and so we had to open that up. And his hips were locked and tight, because as he was moving, he'd move like this. I don't know about you, but that's just a lot of tension. And nobody could move around like this for 24 hours a day, even 16 hours a day, okay? Because if you moved around like this, I bet you slept like that also, okay? So after opening him up a little bit at the hip area, realigning his body so that it was more straight than it was like crooked, the next day, his foot wasn't swollen. And why is that? Because now what we had done is we had restored blood flow from the heart down to the legs, back up. So there was no inflammation there. There was no pooling of blood in his foot. That's number one. Number two, because he didn't wear this brace all the time, I said to him, when you're standing back there in the boat, put your feet parallel and just shift your weight side to side. But at the same time, make sure you feel all sides of your feet and just shift back and forth. And he goes, what's that going to do? I said, it's going to bring back memory to your right side. It's going to bring back movement in your right side. It's going to start to gently move your ankle from side to side as opposed to just up and down. so that you have full range of motion in that ankle. And that, in addition, would translate up to his knee and up to his hip. Just with that suggestion, by the end of the rafting trip, he was using the brace for those 7 days, maybe 15, 20% of the time, as opposed to 75% of the time. He was also in less pain than he usually is on a day-to-day basis, and he was able to go on almost every single hike that the rest of the crew went on with very little pain. It only takes a little bit consistently over time to change things that ail you in your body. Book your session with Flow Massage Therapy. Let's get rid of some of those ailments.